Hey, what the hell's going on, you guys? It is Stupid Player Negative AE, and welcome back to another episode of When They Cry. Last we left off, the Watanagashi had just finished. We found out that someone had died because we switched over to the Oishi thing, and we knew that someone had died. I originally thought it was Shion, but then I guess Shion called us and asked us to come out here, and I guess she was waiting for us already. So also I apologize in advance if you hear any dogs barking. There's dogs barking outside. I can't really do much about it, but hopefully my mic sensitivity is not picking it up. But who knows? Shion had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth
ミオン
process.
と違ってシオンは待ち合わせ時間を守るな。しみじみ。
おねを標準にされるといろいろと困ります。
Shion seemed a little unsteady too. She was drinking with Mion last night, wasn't she?
お前も夕べは寝てないんだろ。隠しても無駄だぞ。で、学校を早退したに違いない。
残念でした。私はそもそも今日はずる休みしてますので。
Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day in the first place.
私、おねより容量いいですから。
Hey, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter.
じゃあ、先に用事を片付けます？
See, they're doing this thing where they like... Okay,
時
hold
間
on.
もそんなにないですから。
This could be Mion in disguise. Who knows?
図書館へ行くんですよね。
ああ、頼むよ。お袋の借りてる本の返却期限が今日までらしいんで。図書館は遠いのか？
すぐ近くですよ。
As she said that, we spotted the signboard for the library almost immediately. If it was this easy to find, then I guess I didn't need Shion to show me where it was after all. We rode around a bend, and the building was right there. The Shishibone Public Library. We lived in the country, so I hadn't expected too much, but it was pretty big. First floor was actually a government office, so the library was only the second floor, but it still looked large enough to fit a decent collection of books. We passed through the automatic doors and we were greeted by the cool breeze of an air curtain. The cicadas had been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. The air conditioning inside was keeping the temperature at an ideal level for the books, which had that mildewy smell unique to old paper.
どこの図書館も似たようなもんだな。
Kinda, yeah. They are all the same. If there was one difference, it was that people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now that seemed like a distant memory.
すみません。返却に来ました。
Librarian went through the process of checking them in and then returned my mom's library card. Shion was going around the bookshelves with a deeply interested look on her face, like she wasn't the type of who went to libraries very often.
悪いな。お待たせ。
Are libraries like funded by like states and governments and stuff? Cause like, I guess they get by on late fees.
終わったよ。
図
But
書
like,
館って
how
涼
many
しくてい
people
いところですね。
are there really that many people that are late with their book returns? Like, how do they get money? Like, what's their
私、
shit?
将来は図書館で働きたいです。
地味というか堅実というか、
It's
姉と
actually
比べると随分とささやかな希望だな。
I've never thought about even like learning about it or looking it up. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a library. They just exist. Man would definitely want to be a hardworking employee for an international trading company or something crazy, or some crazy job that involved her running all around the world. Compared to that, what Shion said is pretty heartwarming.
まあ、互いの持ち味を大切にしたいですよね。私たち分身じゃなくてシオン。
双子は双子なりにいろいろと考えてるんだな。でも楽しそうだよな。俺には兄弟はいないから、うちには俺以外は親しかいない。窮屈なもんだよ。
私だってそうです。お姉とは一緒に住んでるわけじゃないですから。
You're right, she said something like that, didn't she? Why though? Sisters living apart is unusual. It is, unless Mion's a demon. We were getting tired of talking while we were walking. Ended up going to a lounge area which was vacant and continuing the conversation.
え、お姉は本家に、私は沖宮の家に住んでるんです。
本家ってなんだ？随分と立派な響きがあるけどな。
本家は本家です。園崎家の本家。お姉は跡取りだから、バッチャと一緒に住んで、いろいろと当主としての修行をさせられてるみたいです。
Mion, the head of the family? Kind of fit her personality, but it kind of didn't too.
ケイちゃんは引っ越してきたばかりでしたよね。自分で言うのもなんですけど、園崎家ってここいらじゃ結構名士なんですよ。
え、本当かよ。
Word personage didn't really match the extremely sociable air that Mion and Shion gave off. From what Shion explained, the Sonozaki family goes way back to the beginnings of Hinamizawa. After the war, they had a bunch of successful ventures and extended their influence to a wide area.
園崎家はですね、親族全体で助け合う土壌があるんです。今の当主のバッチャが築き上げたんですけどね。
The entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. They were like a huge living company. This let them avoid tax-related problems and help relatives' ventures succeed one after another using large amounts of money.
沖宮の街を歩くことがあったら、看板とかを意識してみてください。園崎の親族が経営しているお店って。
言われてみれば、例のおもちゃ屋も親類の人が経営してるみたいだったな。そういえばエンジェルモートも親類の人が経営してるんじゃないのか？
Even what few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Sonozaki family. It was definitely surprising.
特に金融不動産関係は強いですね。あと商工会議所の役員も何割かは園崎姓かその親類がついてます。沖宮一帯を評伝に市議会議員と県議会議員にも園崎がいます。
ちょっと待て。なんだかすごい話になってきたぞ。
Her relatives operate shops in downtown Okinomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. On top of that, a lot of those in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and there are even people elected to local
ひょっ
offices.
として園崎家ってこの辺り一帯じゃすごいんじゃ。
ねえ、すごいんです。
All of a sudden, a cigarette-smoking, overweight old man. Jesus, go freaking off on this man. Cigarette-smoking, overweight old man interrupted our conversation. Way to destroy this man's life. Wait, I know this guy.
どうも、こんにちは。今日はデートですかな？羨ましいですね。
そうだと思ったら邪魔しないでほしかったですね。大石さん。
That was it. He was Oishi-san, a police officer. I thought it was this person who came to my rescue when I got involved with those delinquents before. Now that I thought about it, Mion didn't seem to like him very much.
いいえ、すみません。知ってる声が聞こえてきたので、ついつい。
Oishi-san laughed coarsely, not showing any sign of giving up. As Shion watched him do so, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her as I had Mion.
前原さんでしたよね。あなたもタフな人です。園崎姉妹を二股かけるなんて。
Two-timing the Sonozaki sisters.
いや、そんな二股だなんて。
I turned around to look at Shion and plead for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. Her gaze wandered. She looked at the clock.
ごめんなさいけ。私もうバイトの時間なんです。
Wait.
え
What?
そうなのか？
Didn't Shion have something to talk about today? Yeah. Now this weird man is here, though.
また今度。あ、バイトが終わったら電話します。夜なら電話大丈夫ですよね。
ああ、大丈夫だと思う。
What?
じゃあ今夜電話しますので、そのじゃ。
Watch her die? Oh. Shion left so fast she was practically running. Uishi-san was waving at me with a grin. Felt like I had been left here as bait so she could get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work.
園崎のご令嬢とこれだけ親しくできるなんて、私も口の利き方を改めた方がいいかもしれません。
What the F? There's so many things. Oishi-san put a coin into a vending machine as he said something
アイ
a
スティー
bit
でいい
polite.
ですか？ミルクは入れます？
いえ。
じゃあ入れますよ。はい、どうぞ。
He handed me a cup of tea filled to the brim with ice as I looked on absent-mindedly. I don't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he did get it for me, so I'll thank him. Was Uishi-san just killing time? We didn't know each other well, but he still engaged me in conversation about all sorts of dumb things. When I thought back to how I talked with Shion, this seemed like a total disaster.
前原さんは園崎さんのことをどれくらいご存知で？
Why are the Higurashi playing? Freaking the cicadas aren't supposed to be going. We're in the library. I thought they were quiet.
さっき聞いた以上のことは何も。
Till then, I hadn't known anything about Mion or Shion other than the fact that they were interesting. I really did only just learn that she was the daughter of some prestigious family.
園崎家はこの地域一帯を牛耳ってる。ちなみに彼女のお父さんは関東でも有名な暴力団グループのご存知でした？
大幹部って。
シオンさんの自宅をご存知ないんですか？高い塀に有刺鉄線と監視カメラで守られた典型的な暴力団の組長宅ですよ。今度ぜひ遊びに行ってみてください。
She'd mentioned Mion being a successor, but to a Yakuza group?
いえいえいえ。まさかまさか。園崎ミオンさんが継ぐのはそんなちんけな暴力団組織だけじゃありません。彼女が継ぐのは園崎家そのものですよ。そのあたりの意味、ちょっと噛み締めていただけますかな。
Uishi-san had spoken lightly about all this from start to finish, but what he was saying wasn't light in the least. It was abrupt and unbelievable.
ミオンさんがその気になれば、往来の真ん中で人殺しをしたって証人は現れないだろうし、警察にだって圧力をかけられますし。
ミオンは人殺しなんかしないぞ。
しませんしません、ものの例えですよ。
They're being very like...
大石さんで名前。ね
え、そうです。
大石さん、ミオンの家が何だろうと、ミオンは俺の誇れる最高の友人です。それをあまりけなすような言い方、好きになれないですね。
I let my quiet anger show through in my gaze as I stared at him. Of course, I could never seem to tell what he's thinking, so I didn't know if it had any effect.
ではザック・バラン、そのミオンさんにいくつかの事件の嫌疑がかかっているとしたらどう思います？
Okay. So we're back. We're back on the same track. Oishi-san is kind of like the bearer of the end of my game.
何かの誤解に決まってるじゃないですか。
Isn't that the truth? You know? Like every time Oishi-san shows up.
ミオンは物騒なことを言うやつだけど、そんな悪いことをするようなやつじゃない。
And tells me that some shit is going on.
前原さん、ここ図書館ですから。
Rishi-san shushed me, but I was in a state of heightened excitement as I wouldn't become so easily.
落ち着いてください。さっきも申し上げました通り。ですから、ちょっと何かあるとすぐそのあたりをご理解いただきたいのですよ。
Well, I know what Oishi-san is trying to say. Combining it with what Shion had told me before, the Sonozaki family is huge and controls everything from Hinamizawa to Okinomiya. Mion, meanwhile, is its successor, who apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. Still, that's all? That's the only reason they're suspecting her?
ですから、ミオンさんを疑うためでなく、ミオンさんの疑いを晴らすために捜査をしている。そうお考えいただきたいのです。
I don't think this is a possible thing. You could talk a dog out of a meat truck. I understand why that's an analogy, but like, here's the definition of shrewd: a shrewd, unfair adult.
Oiさん、ひょっとして俺に用なんですか？
ねえ、そう。
Was that a hint to something? At this point, I began to think that it was no coincidence I met him. Is that a hint to something? Is that a hint that what Shion wanted to do was get me to talk to Uishi-san? Is that what that means? Or is that a nod to that no matter what, I'm guaranteed to meet Oishi-san in this moment happens. Because as soon as this moment happens, that's when shit goes down. In the first game, that's how this happens. And now I'm meeting him again. A different location, mind you. But I'm still meeting him. And I'm guessing the same shit's gonna go down. Because they know whenever I talk to this man. Do you need something from me? Yes, I do. He answered in an absent tone of voice.
何かの事件でミョンを疑っていて、その友人の俺に何かそういうこと。
いえいえ、違う。私は園崎美音さんの友人と話をしに来たのではな。ご自宅にお伺いしたら、
俺に警察が何の用だって言うんですか？
Having realized this faked coincidental meeting had me as its target, my mood immediately turned foul.
そんなに構えなくて肩を楽にして。
それって。
偶然知り合ったおじさんとの世間話ってことにしましょう。
Uishi-san freely suggested that I relax. That being said, behind his eyes was a light, which I could only see sometimes, that was as sharp as a hawk. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me into an interrogation room or something. That was an undoubtedly unpleasant thought.
昨夜は渡流しのお祭り。
はぐらかさないでください。今さら世間話なんかされても。
Oh yeah, last time he talked to me, he told me who died. So who died this time?
昨日の渡流しの晩、富武二郎さんと高野美代さんにお会いしませんでしたか？
Okay, so did they both disappear? I could plainly feel myself give a start.
写真はあったあった。
He opened a small notebook and removed 2 photographs. I didn't have to look.
どうでしょう。あったような、合わなかったような。
Let's ask the same question for the second time today. He gave the same answer for the second time too.
あれ？記憶が曖昧ですか？まさかアルコールが入っててよく覚えてないなんてのはなしにしてくださいよ。
Here too, I got the same answer as I had from Mion. I realized he wasn't taking my vague reply well. Why is he asking me the same thing Mion did? The dark feelings I had nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion came rushing back in a hurry. On a tiny impulse, while it may not count as much for now, I do feel sorry about it.
もう一度、夕べのお祭りで、富武二郎さんと高野美代さんにお会いしませんでしたか？
His tone was soft, but there was a dreadfulness in his voice, clearly different from the first time he asked. Scared. Exactly how I felt.
繰り返し聞かれても、答えはさっきと同じです。
I don't really remember. There wasn't any better answer that I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say that I didn't see them, nor the courage to admit that I had.
そうです。改めて聞けば、さっきとは違う答えが返ってくるかなと思いましてね。
Too scared to look Uishi-san in the eyes.
では、質問を変えます。ほら、前原さん、リラックス、リラックス。
Uishi-san grabbed my shoulders and squeezed them as if trying to give me a massage. It mostly just hurt, though. Still, why would he ask the same things as Mion? If he's asking the same things, then the next question must be...
同じく夕べのお祭りなんですが、 園崎しおんさんにお会いしませんでしたか？
What? What? I'm trying to think of what this could be. Like, that's odd. This is odd. Okay. What the sound was when I looked down, it was the unmelted ice in the cup that I was gripping in my hands. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realizing that, I hastily put any remaining ice in my mouth and crunched down on it.
すみません、あったかもしれないですけど、ほら、ミオンにもそっくりですから、ミオンと見間違えてるかも。
Why are these questions that are coming up
そんな
twice?
わけはないでしょう。
See, I don't understand why they're the same exact questions. Suddenly, Uishi-san grabbed both my shoulders and hunched down to give me a level stare. This must be what it's like to be a deer in the headlights. I wanted to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I've experienced such a piercing stare.
ミオンさんもシオンさんも服装は全然そう簡単に見間違えるはずはありませんよ、前原さん。
His voice was harsh. Harsh. The same as when Mion said it. I could feel my heartbeat quickening. When I realized he could feel it through the hands on my shoulders, I got even more scared. Yeah, that is weird. That is very weird. The same exact questions. Like, it's not like it was like slightly different. No, they asked the same questions. And Mitaki casually said to check it out too, so even Shion, if she had encouraged me, no, I understood. I was the one most at fault here. I shouldn't have let curiosity get the better of me. I shouldn't have gone into the forbidden storehouse.
おいさん、蛍の光っす。
What? From the way he held himself, I knew immediately that he was Oishi-san's subordinate.
もう閉館なんですね。
I didn't realize it until he said something. The jingle and announcement telling the patrons the library had closed and started playing without me realizing it. I was so irritated, so overwhelmed that I couldn't even hear it.
じゃあ前原君、もうこんな時間なんで私たちは失礼。このお話はもっと時間のある時にのんびりといたしましょう。
This isn't a joke. If I never saw him again, it would be too soon. Uishi-san followed his subordinate and left the lounge behind him. However, he spun back around.
そうそう前原さん。
なんですか？
さっきさせてもらった2つの質問、どちらの回答もよく覚えてない。
はい。
参考までに。
Yeah?
あなた、昨日全員にお会いしてますよ。
Okay.
4人で楽しそうに歩いてたじゃないですか。石段のところで、私がこの目で見てますか。
Okay. I caught my breath and my heart seemed like it was about to stop. What a detestable person. He knew and he was testing me.
ではまた。良いお年を。
Sat there like a rock, unmoving, till I could no longer hear the clacking sounds of their footsteps. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? It was on my way back home. The cries of the Higurashi accented the already lonely evening. More time had passed than I'd thought. The orange of the dusky sky was being chased down little by an indigo color approaching from the east. Exhausted by the slow climb towards Hinamizawa, without even noticing I'd gotten off my bicycle and was pushing it uphill. Neither do I. No one had told me this to my face. It told me to my face that I'd done something wrong. No, in fact, it might have been much easier on me that way. What happened yesterday really was just my curiosity. It really was no more than a quiet prank, no more than having the courage to cross at a red light as long as you did it with other people. The storehouse for ritual implements, hollow ground, only accessible to the family of the priest. For sure, I'd seen terrifying things that I'd never imagined would be there. Thinking on it now, though, it didn't matter what was stored away inside. It didn't make the wrong I had committed any more right. But the four of us did. Neon seemed to know about it. For some reason, even the police were trying to learn what the four of us did. We do something so bad? Really? This music. This is like something I would do on like piano, just like in my free time, like solo over chords. It doesn't matter how long or how wrong it was. I did something wrong. It was nothing more than that, and yet I couldn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Mian or Uishi-san. All I did was shield myself with ambiguities. I did something wrong yesterday. I set foot into a forbidden storehouse for a little bit of mischief. I'll forget everything I saw in there. I will never do something like that again, either. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Dude, you could analyze this music real hard. Like, the music is adding so much. I I wonder, was it the same? Was it just one guy that made this entire thing? And he made the music too? Or did he hire someone for the music? Because I feel like the stuff that he's doing, I don't know. The suddenly cool evening air left no room for such sentiment. However, as it mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible. And the evening air was correct. There's so many chords that are just a little bit off, and I love it. If I trudged along such an isolated road, regrets would pile on top of regrets, but nothing would change. Let's go home. If I go home, I'll go home, go to my room, and put on my favorite music or something, and go to bed. That might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I've felt all day. Now that I've made a decision, there's no point in dawdling in a place like this. I sat back on my bike. I pushed hard on the pedals. Read that wrong. I rapidly advanced forward. I steadily gained speed. The wind was cutting and mercilessly cold, but it actually felt good, as if it were softly punishing me. I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returning to my bedroom. My mom called me from downstairs. Nagi. Was it Mion? No, it was Shion. I just remembered. She had something she wanted to tell me today. Uishi-san had interrupted us, so she didn't get the chance. Shion had said she'd call tonight.
もしもし、シオンか。
どうも、今日は災難でしたね。
She said it so plainly that I got a bit annoyed. She didn't say that she was Shion, so we don't know. She was the one who left me there and ran.
そんなこと言わない。私、ケイちゃんに一緒に逃げようってサインを送ったのにケイちゃん、ぼさーっと残っちゃって。
ボサってことはないだろう。
Gave me the signal to run away with me, didn't I? What was the signal?
シオンがあっという間に置いてきぼりにしたんで、あの後俺は大石のおっさんに。
そんなの、私に愚痴られても困ります。
Can't believe she passed it off like that. She looks just like Mion, and yet inside she's this different. I got a little irritated at myself when I realized I was somewhere in my mind, hoping for the same reaction I would get from Mion, even though she's a different person.
ああ、次からはシオンを置いてくぐらいのつもりで。
できればレディーファーストでお願いします。
Shion laughed refreshingly. I like that. When I heard her voice, I realized that she wasn't that angry or anything. It was just as she said. The cause of my temper was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. I'll stop blaming it on others. Blaming it on others would be...
それより、俺に何か話があるんだろ
Blaming it on others would be what? Why did the music cut out there? Anyways, you had something to tell me, right?
もしも、もう知ってるなら、改めて言うような話じゃないんです。知ってますか
She unlowered her voice suddenly as if she were glancing around. I had no idea what I could already know.
悪いけど、何のことかヒントくらい出せ。
ってことは、知らないみたいですね。
She seemed to take my stupid-sounding question as evidence. However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the slightest.
実は、昨日の綿流しのお祭りの晩なんですけど。
Is she going to ask the same thing? I
もし
doubt
も
it.
し、ケイちゃん、聞いてます
How is she? Why would she ask the same thing? She was there. Did you see me? Did you see me at the Watanagashi festival?
ああ、聞いてる。昨日の晩どうしたんだよ。
私たち4人、入ったじゃないですか。
Yo, don't answer that. Yo. Do not answer that. Oh, she didn't say that she was Shion. Not once. Oh, no. Oh, I'm going to call it right now. I'm calling it right the F now. Do not answer that. Why? Why would she ask that question? That is such a stupid question. I would immediately think about that and be like, wait a second. Why? What happens if you answer no? I would have been like, no, we didn't. Like, what happens? Whether or not I wanted to admit it, that was the actual honest truth, and I couldn't act like it hadn't happened. You could.
それでその後、みんなで歩いて、石段のあたりで私たち、
Say no.
高野さんたちは沢に行って、ケイちゃんはその場に残って、
Say
私
no.
は親類の人たちのところに行っちゃって、
ああ、それがどうした。
お互い質問の返し合いになっちゃうと拉致が開かないんで、いいですか？
ゆうべ、富武さんと高野さんに会いませんでしたかだろ。
はい、あの後、あの二人には会いましたか？
Okay, so she's... Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'll be relieved if I'm wrong, and this is actually Shion, and I'm like, okay, cool. But what kind of question is... The four of us went in there, right? What the crap kind of question is that? Get out of my way. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. This is the third time I've been asked this question today. Why? Why? Because they're both dead. It's the same as the first game. Maybe the same thing happens each time. Why what the
ど
hell?
うしてだ。だからどうしてそれを俺。
ほらほら、ケイちゃん、質問は私からのはずです。答えてください。
シオンはあったのか。シオンが先に答えたら俺も答える。
My shabby response betrayed how scared and small I felt now. After everything that had happened today, John didn't say anything for a few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd really put my foot in my mouth with that response, she'd finally
も
answered
ち
me.
ろん、一緒にいた親類が証明できます。
俺だって会ってない。証明って言うなら、ミオンとかレナとかみんながしてくれる。
Now that we knew our answers matched, she let out a sigh that sounded more relieved than
正
anything
直
else.
に答えてくる。じゃあ、言いますね。
I'm actually Mion.
ゆうべ、高野さんと富武さんが死んだんだそうです。
That's what I expected.
ごめん、シオン。今、なんて言った？
We're gonna get the horror music here real fast.
ゆうべ、高野さんと富武さんが死んだんだそうです。
There's the horror music.
高野さんは焼死体で、富武さんは自殺みたいな感じで、今朝知ったんです。お父さんが 親類の人からの電話で話してるのを聞いて。
Late last night. Okay, here we go. Difference. Let's figure out what's different here. The police car on its way back from the festival security duty had discovered Tomitaki-san lying in the middle of the road heading towards Okinomiya. Okay. Same. It's the same thing. And died. Fought out of his own throat.
なんだよ。明るそうな富武さん、何かの間違いだろ。
警察がちゃんと検視し、自分の爪でガリガリと喉をかきむしって自分の血で溺れ死んだんだって。
そんなバカな自殺、自分の喉をかき破るなんておかしすぎる。
I realized I was yelling too loudly, so I lowered my voice. If you were yelling at all, wouldn't your parents be like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, they already heard you. I didn't want my parents to, so I switched the cordless phone and ran up to my room.
大声出してごめん。
Is Rena gonna freaking be outside my door? Sorry for yelling.
高野さんも自殺なのか。
高野さんは自殺かどうかちょっと。
Takano-san's body was found in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture. This is new. Employees at a rest stop nearby reported to the police late that night that they could see flames in the mountains. Firefighters dispatched there were the first ones to find her. The autopsy concluded that it was the half-burned corpse of a half-naked female. They initially considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after there was a request for dental comparison from the XX Prefectural Police Station in Okinomiya, and the results concluded that it was Mio Takano. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely to have been a homicide since she was in her undergarments and her clothes were nowhere in the area. She was stripped down to her underwear and burned alive. Interesting. The oil drum had fallen over, so it's also possible she burned herself to death.
自殺なわけ。同じ死ぬならもっと楽な方。こんなの私だってそう思っ。富武さんのだって自殺だなんて考えられない。
I feel the two of us rattled on at each other. There was a silence as we paused to catch our breaths. As we calmed our nerves. Right then, I understood what Shion's story actually meant.
ってことになると思います。私たち語られるのに十分な
資格って冗談じゃないぞ。別に俺は。
Shion wanted to see it with me. I just went along with her. I tried to say that, but I felt silent. Nothing would come of me blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me. I could have put my foot down. I lost to my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go in with them. Yes, it was my fault, no one else's.
お前は昨夜細工店の中に忍び込んだら。
まさか。
So, there's also the issue of the sound now. Now that Tomitaki-san and Takano-san are both gone, that pretty much is the kill and the demoned away, right? Isn't there like a kill and then like, or is demoned? Am I mixing the two? One person disappears and one person gets killed, right? But two people died because they found them. They found the girl. In the previous one, they didn't find Takano. She just disappeared. But in this one, they did. So it's weird. I don't know. There's lots of stuff that's different. Of course not. Hasn't Shion experienced this before though? Like she's a resident, right? Like she's been around here. So she definitely freaking knows about what's been happening. Like this can't be new news to her that this happened. I guess it's just that like yes. Could possibly be stranger. Yes. Thank you. Boom. This is exactly what I was just saying.
が確認されたのは
This is my exact point.
確かにそうかもしれないけど、
いいえケイちゃん
Yes, thank you.
もっと真剣に考えてください
Shion is best girl.
いいですか二人の死がお社様のたたりということになってるなら
Oh
お
no.
社様の怒りを鎮めるための生贄もまた二人分必要なはずなんです
Oh no.
そういう理屈になるのか。
And we're the other two people.
じゃあなんだよ、富武さんと高野さんが死んだ陰で今年は二人が行方不明になってる
That's
ってのか。
us. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. I was like, it's weird that Takano, who was supposed to be taken away, didn't. But I didn't even think about. Oh, but see, that doesn't make any sense.
ま
So
だ
I,
誰も行方不明になってないと思い多分二人が失踪するのは
they're
これ
us.
からじゃないかと思うんです
That's why Shion wanted to talk.
これから二人が失踪する。
Dude, that's interesting as fuck. Couldn't say more than that either. Chill crept in through my clothes and tried to wrap into a fist around my heart, cold hands feeling about on my chest. Neither of us could say anything. Tomitaki-san opened up the lock and he died. Takano-san exposed the ritual storehouse and she died. If two more people were to be sacrificed, it would be us. Boom. None other than us.
Masaka.
That's interesting.
冗談だろ。
I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke even now. That, though, was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request. Tomitaki-san and Takano-san had died in a common way like a car accident. I could tell myself it was a coincidence. Instead, he'd clawed out his own throat, and she burned to death, drowned in oil in the mountains. The two deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be someone punishing us. Some sort of cruel will working behind the scenes. Even so, I didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge that a horrible crisis was growing near. And for Shion and I. That's why I argued against it. I argued knowing I was running away.
大地、そんなの新聞に出てないぞ。そんなに奇怪な事件なら絶対に新聞やテレビで報道するはずだろう。雑誌記者とかだって面白がって大勢来るに決まってる。
マスコミに報道されないのは当然過去にそうだったから
When the incidents occurred for the third year in a row, there was some third-rate magazines that sniffed out the story and ran issues full of gossip columns about Hinamizawa. Fearing that the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefecture and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy where no information about the incidents was allowed to be leaked to the media.
村長とかあと園崎家出身の金バッジが
じゃあつまり二人の死は秘密裏に処理されてしまったということ。
そういうことですもちろん警察は捜査をしてでも秘匿捜査ということなので捜査活動にはかなりの制限が加えられているそうですこれは事実上の捜査妨害と言えるでしょうね
The story was unbelievable. People died, and yet they couldn't publicize it and deal with
もっと
everything
噛
in
み
secret.
砕いて言うと綿流しの夜に誰が死んでも公
そんなバカな話があってたまるか。
ケイちゃん私以前にお社様のつまりこのひなみ沢では毎年綿流しの夜にお社様のたたりということにして誰かを殺してもいい土壌がいつの間にか作り上げられているんです
I think if I had to seriously consider, just like as an aside here, I think if I was in this situation and I had to seriously consider whether or not my life was gonna be in danger or not, and I had all this information and all this stuff, the first thing I would do is I would say, all right, Shion, we're running away. They can't get us if we're away from the city, right? Like if we like go to like Colorado or something, where we're like, let's take a freaking train somewhere. I feel like you're safe then, right? Because this is happening in Hinamizawa. This is meant to like stave away people. I don't know. I'm just. I would think that running away would be the best option. You know, let's freaking make a life in China. You know, go to freaking Korea. When someone dies on the night of Watanagashi, it turns into the curse of Oishiro-sama. Which turns into the serial murder incidents in order to avoid exacerbating the negative stigma surrounding Hinamizawa. Those incidents are dealt with in secret.
バカな、毎年死者と行方不明者が出るんだろ。いくらマイナスイメージって言ったって。
毎年の事件が不可解って言うなら、警察も本腰を入れ、何しろ毎年の事件は連続事件という形。たまたま毎年綿流しの晩に不幸なことが起こる。
This is a repeat of information. It's the only thing that makes this different than the last story is that now we're gonna disappear. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last one managed to get and stay away, but the events were totally exposed and elucidated. So it was, in essence, resolved. The dam supporting couple who died in the accident on the second year was an accidental death, plain and simple. He made a lot of investigations into the possibility of it having been a homicide, but they didn't turn up anything. It ended up as an accident. It was resolved. On the third year, the priest fell ill and passed away. There were doctors present at his hospital, but at his deathbed, and they all had trustworthy medical certificates. They even did an autopsy. It was concluded that it wasn't a homicide, that was resolved too. On the fourth year, the sister-in-law of the dam supporting couple was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulant usage. He confessed that he thought Oishiro-sama's curse was so interesting he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while in prison, so this incident was essentially resolved as well. That's right. None of the incidents had any relation to another, and each one was independently resolved.
なのになぜか毎年綿流しの晩に不幸な偶然が起こる。
I am going to go ahead and end it here. I'm fairly certain. So I'm done. I'll pause it right here so I can save it and stuff. I'm fairly certain that Rena is outside my door right now, or Mion. Maybe Mion's outside my door. Kind of change it up, you know, different game, different shit. But the idea that there's two people. Well, okay. So what happened in the first one? And I guess I wasn't completely paying attention because. So the idea is that one person's killed and one person's taken away, right? Why then was I killed? Because wasn't it Tomitaki and Takano-san last time as well? And then, but they couldn't find Takano-san, so Takano-san must have been taken away. I don't know if I'm using the correct term. I don't know if demoned away is the killing or the taking away. I'm pretty sure demoned away is the taking away of the people, right? So then why was I killed? Was it just because I knew too much? And then if I was killed, was someone demoned away as well? Or was I just a thing? Because they found my body. The news report afterwards said, like, oh, I had clawed out my own throat, just like kind of Tomitaki-san had done. So maybe I'm just confused about what happened in the first one. I don't know. Maybe because I was talking to Oishi-san, but even still, I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like button. I also am not sure I'm also not sure about a lot of things. Like, Mion could easily pretend to be Shion whenever she freaking feels like it. Which is, like, another option that could be happening. I think there might have been a time where Mion was Shion, but I didn't realize it. But I'd have to look back through the videos and, like, see. There's a lot of stuff, I don't know. I like, Shion's still best girl, by the way. She's gonna continue to be best girl, I think, for the entirety of the shit, because she has been just a doll. Like, she's been like the best sidekick. I don't know why we're not running away together. Like, we should definitely run away together. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode of this. Peace out, you guys.